Once upon a time in the farthest corner of the continent, there was a village called Chitimba, forgotten by time. It was located in the shadow of the mysterious Mount Moroa, surrounded by dense forests and deep rivers. The villagers lived a life in touch with nature, continuing the old traditions and rituals of their ancestors. Bai, the oldest woman in the village, was known as the village healer and sage. In her youth, she had climbed Mount Moroa, where she had spoken to the spirit of the mountain. The spirit of the mountain gave Bai a magical seed and told her that this seed would determine the future of the village. Bai planted the seed in the center of the village, and in time, a large, spectacular flower bloomed. The flower bloomed for one night every full month and sent mystical dreams to the children of the village, showing them the future. One day, however, a strange man came to the village. His name was Darren, an adventurer from the West, and he was determined to learn the secrets of Mount Moroa. During his stay in the village, Darren listened to Bai's stories and decided to see this mystical flower. But Bai warned him. This flower has great power, but in the wrong hands it can lead to evil. Do not reveal its secret. Darren witnessed the flower blooming on the night of the moon and was mesmerized by the sight. The light from the flower illuminated the entire village. However, Darren had other plans in mind. That night, Darren thought of uprooting the flower and revealing its secrets to the world. Before morning, Kunto, one of the youngest boys in the village, sensed Darren's intentions. Kunto had to act boldly and protect both the flower and the future of the village. For if Darren succeeded, the mystical bonds of the village could be lost forever. That night, the sky was dark and the stars were hidden. Kunto quietly approached Darren's tent. Darren was making preparations, putting the flower in a bag. Kunto was full of courage and wisdom he had learnt from the village elders. He had been taught that the spirits of the village and nature would always help him. Kunto decided to ask the spirit of Mount Moroa for help to stop Darren. As he ran towards the foot of the mountain, he heard whispers in the wind. These voices were guiding him in the right direction. When he reached the top of Mount Moroa, it was midnight, and the moon was beginning to peep out from behind the clouds. Kunto called the spirit of the mountain and told him what had happened. The spirit of the mountain, sensing Kunto's courage and devotion to his village, gave him a special power. Kunto's eyes lit up and his hands were filled with a light that could heal anything he touched. Meanwhile, Darren took the flower and started to walk away from the village. However, as soon as he was outside the village, Kunto intercepted him. Darren stopped in surprise and saw the light in the young boy's hand. Kunto spoke in a calm voice. "This flower belongs to our village. It will not go with you." Darren hesitated at Kunto's strong stance, but then tried to take the flower and run away. However, when Kunto's hand touched the flower, there was a burst of light and the flower returned to its original place in the center of the village. Before Darren could recover from the shock, he found himself outside the village.